Welcome back. Tonight in the Hot Box, host of News and Views, Joel Heitkamp. Joel, great to have you back.
Good to be back with Chris. Got the Rick Santorum look just for you.
It fits you really well.
Yeah, that ultra-conservative look.
Speaking about ultra-conservative, what's going on in North Dakota? Scott Lauser, a representative out of Minot, proposes a suspension of income taxes for 2 years. Not the end of the world here. Yeah. Number one, do you think that's a good idea for the state?
Well, it depends upon what they're going to do with the money. If they're going to put the money to work, or if they're just going to let it sit in the bank. If they're going to put the money to work, then no. If they are just going to let it sit in the bank and high-five each other, then suspend income tax.
But whose bank? I'm talking about a suspension of income taxes where they're going to actually give the money back to us. I think it's a great idea.
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea if all they're going to do is keep piling up reserves in the general fund account to where the Pam Sharps misgauge the whole ending fund balance again to where we have $6-7 billion. If that's the case, then yeah, get it back to those families. They can put it to work on some down payments.
So answer me this. Bill Shalhoub, he's with basically the North Dakota Chamber. He comes out and says this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
How can a chamberman come out and say, yeah, let's keep taxes high or not lower them?
You see a little conflict there?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, the Chamber of Commerce now is for those taxes.
I mean, but seriously, what is he talking about?
Well, really what he's doing is carrying water for the governor. The governor doesn't want income tax to go away. He's afraid of the bubble, and he also knows that getting Drew Wrigley elected governor someday, the lieutenant governor, the best thing you can do is not go around making sure Dwayne DeCray's got a job, but actually going out there and, making sure there's a good, strong ending fund balance. It's been a recipe that worked for Hovind, one that worked for Dalrymple. So they're afraid if that ending fund balance is a little bit less, these one-time funding things, phase 1, 2, 3, might look foolish.
But let me ask you this, because we had Representative Paul Marquardt on yesterday, had a great question from one of our viewers and said, so why is it so great for the government to have a surplus, but we want to go out there and nail these profitable companies? Why is that a bad thing? So when does it stop? When does Governor Dalrymple, when do Republicans in the state finally go, hey, enough's enough. We've got plenty of money.
The answer to that is when you do what you're supposed to be doing as government. Okay, if you lived in Western North Dakota, you've been there, you've studied it. You need better roads, you need better turning lanes, you need to get the dust down on the roads. If you're properly funding the things I just described, you've put a control on Devil's Lake, you've got flood protection for Fargo that doesn't bash everybody else, you looked at a bigger, broader approach, then you can stop because now you've got things funded. I would say in the area of school funding, we're really reaching that point. Look at what the property taxes are going to be on school funding. That's good for all of us. Heck, I screamed about that for 14 years out there. But for Bill Shalhoub to be out here carrying water for the governor, don't assume the governor didn't call first. Okay? Governor Jack Dalrymple has his cell, says, Bill, cover my backside on this. Go out, take the slings and arrows. You guys, I'm always good to you, and that's how things like that happen.
I hope Bill is getting some sort of bennies on the back end. We're working to actually get Bill and Scott on the show in the future. One thing I want to touch on with you is yesterday, Leanne Panetta, obviously one of his final decisions, if you will, comes out and says, hey, we're going to allow women on the front lines. Your thoughts on it?
It was already happening, number one. Number two, it was going to happen.
Other countries. Do you think it's, again, the right thing for our country and for the military?
Sure, absolutely.
Why specifically?
I point to Israel. Israel being the main leader when it comes to saying, get out of here. First off, every 2 years, you're in the military in Israel. For 2 years, if you and I don't know if you wore a uniform. I didn't. My dad wouldn't let me join. I'm older than you. And I was right after the end of Vietnam, and my dad, who proudly served in World War II, was mad. He was mad at the way the government was treating the military. And so when I looked to join, he wasn't jumping up and down to have me join. But in Israel, for 2 years, you're going to serve. Okay, and they don't care. They don't care if you're gay, they don't care if you're a woman, they don't care if you're a man, they don't care if you're black or white or whatever. You're going to serve. And it works. They have one of the strongest, best trained, most cohesive militaries.
Do you think America should do that?
Well,
make it mandatory.
Actually, if we're going to have these continual 5-6 tours of duty, all under the auspice of voluntary when it's really a lot economic, then yes, because look what's happening. Some of these guys are just getting burnt out. It's costing them their families. It's costing them their personal and professional lives. So yeah, but my answer to all of that is, Chris, why are we still in Afghanistan?
That I don't know. The one thing about the women here, I think, look, if it's on your heart and you want to go serve and preserve our freedoms, go for it. As long as you go through the same rigor, so when you're in combat, you know, hey, this woman's got my back. She can yank me out of here if I need that. I think more power
As a
to
man
you.
with 5 sisters, they're not going to shy away from that. They're not.
I don't think
they'll
they are
live
either.
up to that standard, or they won't be there.
But I mean, I look at my wife. My wife's not going to be able to yank me out. If I'm injured, she's not going to have the strength to yank me out. But there are other women, obviously, that are a lot more stronger than
I know
she
wide
is.
receivers
and
that
can
couldn't
do
either. You know, tackles and offensive linemen, they could. You know.
Hey, by the way, you've got a great radio show, and I think one of the things that's fun about TV, you can kind of see how Joel and I do things here on the camera, but when you're on radio, you can't really see what you do behind the scenes. So we've got a special video of you that just to show people how hard Joel works inside of his studio. We can share this, please, and roll the tape. Happen inside the radio studio.
You just had to. See, it's Rick Santorum month. You see that? It's Rick Santorum month.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. Notice the bottom of the helicopter already has tape from me crashing it once.
Oh, that is great. Rick Santorum is here. Rick, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate that. Stay close. Lots more coming up. Would love your feedback. Go to our website, 630POV. Do you think North Dakota should suspend income taxes? I think it's a great idea. Stay close. Lots more coming.